Rubber ducky, you're the one. Oh. So how's your foot anyway?
Not too good.
You just gotta keep stretching that shit out and it'll feel better. What's going on? You have dance tonight? No. Karate?
No.
Girl Scouts?
No.
No.
I shouldn't. I quit dance.
Oh.
I was too stressed and it hurt my feet too much.
Well, I understand, I guess.
I did ballet and hip hop.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
And I spent 3 hours of my day there.
Yeah. Got some Glockies.
Anybody watching?
How you guys doing? Don't be afraid to jump in this conversation here. Or at least start a conversation. I get people asking me about certain firearms. So when I do the lives, I try to show what people ask about in the last one. Kian, how you doing? Yo. Hola, how you doing? Thanks for jumping in and saying hi. Appreciate it. Oh. So what are y'all doing other than sitting and watching YouTube? Anything interesting? Fuba, how are you doing?
The way your excitement changed.
I assume you mean 23, not 13, because it's restricted 18 and older, so I'm assuming you typoed that and it was a 23 and not 13. Well, Glock 18s are full auto, so there's a whole lot of paperwork to do with that. Chill Tuesday. Yeah, there ain't shit going on for me either. I just got home from work. I figured we'd do a live for an hour, maybe 2 hours till the wife gets home. Trying to get them watch hours up. Close, really, really close. I need for you to do some more really great sound clips because I'm always helping my channel. Are you Phantom Tax your Glock? I don't know what Phantom means. Yeah, dude, they're nerfing me too. I had a video where I was getting like 60,000 views, and it's been going this way for, I don't know, 10 months. Like 60,000 views every 2 days. And now I'm getting like 100 on it. Like overnight, I went from 60,000 to 100. They, you know, you got to be a certain class of person for YouTube to push your content, and you know, being a good guy and having some cool stuff. Unless you hit that certain type of person, that certain class, they just don't want it. I don't know why you'd call a SWAT team on me. That's pretty ignorant to say. It's an MP5, 9mm. No, I'm 100% legit. If you want to waste some law enforcement's time, and meanwhile they should be doing their job, you know. So if that's your idea of funny, it's not funny. Everything I have is 100% legal. I'm free, white, and over 21. Fuba will attest to that. So that last live I did, I kept getting asked about Glocks, asking why I never show Glocks. So I busted my Glocks out. I want people to think I don't actually own a Glock. And I get asked about the SKS, and I've been asked to show that MP5. So they're here. What are you guys all doing on a Tuesday late afternoon? Gotta be something more than just chilling. No, the rifle on the right is a Arsenal 26 Norinco SKS. Semi-automatic rifle. Fire 7.62 by 39. Yeah, nothing like saying you're jealous, huh? Low quality. Yep, you got it. I'm sure your stuff is all top of line. If you were listening, this is stuff I've been asked to see. Someday you might be on my level, but I doubt it. Especially when you want to say stupid stuff. I do not have a scar. No good reason why not. Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure that's why you're on here watching somebody else's stuff. No, they're all real guns. So, yep, all real. Got some 9mm. Showed SKS and then the MP5 clone. I appreciate it. Absolutely. So all the pistols today are 9mm. The MP5 is a 9mm, and then the SKS is 7.62 by 39. Let me see, Harley. I don't have a Draco. I have a ZPAP M85. Dracos they're trash. Yeah, I'm sure that's all that dude does is sit and copy and post. Find it. I have some gold-plated guns. Yes, I have a 50 BMG. No, I don't have a gold-plated Desert Eagle. I have no intentions of buying a gold-plated Desert Eagle. My Desert Eagle I have there's nothing wrong with it. I've had it for a long time. I've shot it a lot. So I do have several AKs. What do I got? 3, 4, 5, 6 AKs. Favorite gun on the table? I would have to say that Camel Glock. I've had that since 2002. I've traveled the country shooting competitive with it. I have burnt out 3 barrels and about need my 4th one. It's been refinished 6 different times. So the top one. that one? I don't know. One of your friends. No. That's Sigma Dude. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, you ain't got a single subscriber. And you have a playlist. So go ahead and talk your shit. You got nothing. Just a little wannabe watching somebody's videos. I have 3 SKSs. I bought I'm trying to think. I think the one on the table I got back in like 2007. I actually bought it from a pawn shop. It was $150. That Sigma dude talking like he actually knows. Playing video games, that's it. As far as the Car 98, I did have one. I sold that quite a while ago. I probably should have hung on to it. It was actually it was a good one. Oh, I'm sure Sigma. I'm gonna let you go just because you're helping my time. But let's be honest, we all know you're full of shit. Open this up.
You want to ban that guy? The DG one?
Sit down. Yeah, we know you don't have any videos, but 5 seconds ago, you were telling us how you had 20,000 subscribers. The Glock on the very bottom is a Glock 34. The weapons on the table, the carbine on the left is a MP5 clone. The rifle, the long gun on the right-hand side with the wood stock is a Norinco Arsenal 26 SKS by 7.62 by 39. The Glock on the very bottom is a Glock 34. Next one up is a Glock 44. The third one from the bottom is a Glock 17. The fourth one is a Glock 17. Then there is a Glock 43X, another 43X, and a Glock 26. And then last but not least isn't actually a Glock. It's a Shadow Systems MRP 920 Elite. Or 920p MR. Whatever their goofy numbers are. I'm not a real big fan of the Springfield XDs. I've had several over the years and I end up selling them. Just, they're not for me. SIGs, some of their stuff is pretty decent, but I personally have hard feelings against the company for what they've been doing with their 320s. I'm not real happy with them, so I'm not doing any business with them. I have a bunch of ARs, so I mean, I have Daniel Defense, I have Stag, I have stuff that was built. I have 20-inch barrels, 16-inch barrels, 10.5-inch barrels. Oh man, this ain't nothing. Give the channel a like. You know, double tap that screen. If you guys want to see some really bad stuff, I have everything from, you know, a 17 HMR all the way up to a 50 BMG Barrett. And, you know, I show guns on the video, but we shoot them. We shoot them a lot. We shoot competition. We go all over the United States shooting competitive. The M3A1 grease gun. I don't own an M3A1 grease gun. So if you just clicked in here or whatever, my last couple lives, these are guns that people asked to see. So that's why the Glocks are out. I usually don't show any Glocks there. I mean, there's nothing I absolutely do have a Thompson. If you go back a couple shorts, or not, I'm sorry, a couple lives, there's one in my live. There's several shorts on it. Yes, I absolutely have a Thompson. So the Glock 34 is interesting. If you just want a target gun, it may not be great. I do have a HK 416. I actually got that back in 2012 when they were actually importing the real HK 416s. They don't import the real ones anymore. Let's see. The 34, as long as you run good ammo, it can't be light loaded stuff. The gun will run fine. It's a competition gun, or it was designed to be a competition gun. So it's not for everybody. All else good. I'm trying to read all your comments. I apologize. That's I don't know why you would say something like that, LT Beast. That's kind of something else altogether, ain't it? So that's chaos on the table. I bought this back, I think it was like in 2007. I paid $150 from it. It's a Arsenal 26 Norinco import. So this is before, I mean, this is when they were still before the ones that are coming in now. Huh?
Can I go outside and roller skate?
I'm not sure what an MK7 LAR is. I have all kinds of hammered fired guns. These are just what people have been asking to see. I mean, I own a ton of CZs. I own Berettas. I own 1911s. All kinds of stuff. So, like I said, I don't know if you caught it, but I keep getting asked. I don't have a staccato. I'm not a fan of staccatos. I do have a nice 2011 on its way. We generally don't use stripper clips just because they're a pain in the ass. I mean, they look cool if you're, trying to reload rapidly. They got a place, but they're more of a hassle than they're worth. When we go shoot them, we're just out at the range. We're shooting plates, 200, 300, 400-yard plates. So I'm not going to sit there and load stripper clips to zip 10 in and then have to reload them. I do not have a Colt Python. I like the older snake guns, the Anaconda, the Python, and the King Cobra, but their newest releases, I'm not a super big fan of them. What do I think is a good reasonable priced gun? So the last two handguns I bought, one was $1,100 and one was $2,200. So your idea and my idea of reasonable may be pretty far apart. I do not have an Uzi anymore that I sold. I sold that years ago. I had a Vector Arms, and it was built from it was a kick gun that Vector Arms used to build, and they welded it wrong, so it wouldn't run reliably. I sold it, and I've just never bought another one. I've moved on to other things. But Uzis look cool, and they look really cool in the movies, but when you actually get out and shoot them, you're a little disappointed. So the 2011s I really like the Infinity and the STIs. They're both high-end competition guns. I wouldn't mind an Atlas. I do have a Mac 11. There's actually, if you go back like 2 shorts in my video, I have a video shooting it and a bump firing it. So kind of cool. If you guys haven't, double hit that screen. 500 to 1,000. Do you want a hammer fired gun or do you want a striker fired gun? hammer. Get a CZ. You want a carry gun or you want a full-size gun? Glock 34. Full size. Look for an SPO1. That's a double action, single action hammer pull. You can get the tactical model, which has a decocker. You can get the SPO1. What do they call it? B. I think it's B. Mine is competition, but you can get them so they have a manual safety. You get a different variant, and it's got a decocker. I'd suggest getting a manual safety. You can do a little bit better trigger work on. They're easier to work on. But a hammer-fired gun at 5 to 1,000, CZ SPO1 would be my recommendation. It's hard. It's hard to go wrong with a CZ. They're top-notch firearms. Yes, I have shotguns. I have KSG 12. I have a Remington TAC 14. That's the little guy with a 14-inch barrel. The Glock 34 is a Gen 4. I have a Benelli M1. That's semi-auto. I have a Browning Silver Medallion. That's break action. I'm sorry, I didn't. What did you ask? I do have one muzzle loader. It's a it's your Traditions. Let me think of what model it is. Oh, I can't think of it. I almost put it on the table today. I think it's the Kentucky long rifle is what they call it. It's a folding stock on it all the way to damn near the end of the muzzle. It's 50 caliber. Do you like them? Yeah, M249 saw is badass. You know, I'm not sure 1917, but the 1919s are bad to the bone too. You know, belt fed 30 caliber. I will put it on the next stream. They said it was in my hand. Legitimately, it was in my hand, and I set it back down. I'll do one towards the end of the week, probably either Thursday or Friday, and I'll make sure I put that on there. So it'll be about the same time of day. So subscribe if you haven't. Do you have a near? I don't know what you mean by a near. Yes, I own a Barrett. There's videos on my channel with it. I have a M82. That's the semi-auto version. I wouldn't get an opportunity to test any guns. I have 3 great big mean-ass American Bulldogs. They are anything but friendly to strangers. Very territorial dog. It's in a safe, but on lives I cannot handle firearms. If my hand even goes into frame, I get a strike. They shut me down almost instantly. So that's why you see people when they do lives, they do the tables like this, or they do a gun board. I would absolutely love to be able to do a live and sit here and talk to you guys about it, show the gun, maybe even take them apart. I mean, that'd be badass. But YouTube isn't allowing it. A few lives ago, maybe a month ago, I had one of my dogs walk through the frame, and they nailed me on that. Said I was handling firearms. The dog walked through past the table. So again, 3 big American Bulldogs. It's not going to matter. They're going to have to shoot them when they walk in the door, and it's not going to happen. Picture one of the meanest, most aggressive dogs you're going to come across. That's what they are. My puppy's 130 pounds, and his head's about twice the size of a basketball, and they're serious. Yeah, with corgis, you're probably going to need a firearm close by. Jono, AR-15 and SKS, I'm not sure. Is that what you own, I assume? Feel free, man. You're just gonna look like a pompous ass. Everything I have is legal. I'm free, white, over 21. Not a convicted felon, domestic abuser, never been incarcerated for any mental defect, never been dishonorably discharged. So, no, the two rifles on the table, one is an MP5 and then the other one is an SKS. Uh, I'm not sure I would purchase an RXM. I mean, I have Glocks because I used to compete with them. So, like the Camel one and then the Glock 17 right below it. Them were my old competition guns. My Camel one was my main gun. The black one was just a backup gun. The Glock on the very bottom, the Glock 34, I was going to replace my 17 with that. And I just didn't, I don't know. It shoots okay, but it wasn't for me. I ended up switching brands, and I switched divisions. Yeah, we're not going to talk about stuff like that. I mean, if I knew you personally, we'd sit here and trade stories, and I'd tell you everything you want to know, but that's not something I openly discuss just to discuss it. I do have a couple 45. Actually, I forgot a Glock. Shit. I missed one. I missed my Glock 22, which is a 40 cal. I did miss that. I have one more. I have a Gen 2 Glock 22. Sorry. I missed that. What I don't like about the RXM, nothing personally. I just it's the Glock striker fired platform isn't something I compete with anymore. So I have them. Um, the gun on the very top, that Shadow Systems, I just bought that for my daughter, and that'll be the gun she competes with this year. There's a Glock 26 in here. I carry that gun, but I don't shoot. I don't really shoot Glocks anymore. Everything I shoot is usually it's a competition based. So most of my stuff is CZ. Uh, my main gun is a CZ Checkmate. It's an open division gun. I have never fired a SA-80. I would tell you to get the RXM before I told you to buy a PSA product. Uh, I bought my middle son a PSA, I don't know, 2 years ago, and uh, it had serious issues. And I tried and tried and tried to get a hold of PSA, left messages, left emails. They wouldn't return me. They don't deserve your money if they can't even return a phone call on a warranty claim. So the one I used is the Glock 17, the Camel gun. I started with that in 2002, and I did just a little bit of work for it, and I competed with that gun for 18 years, 19 years. It was my main gun. When I wore out the barrel, I'd change the barrel. When the finish was worn completely off the gun, I'd refinish it. I changed the sights. Right now, it's got a KKM barrel in it. That's the gun I competed with. And the black Glock 17 below, that was my backup gun. So you're traveling across the country to go shoot. It's worth having a backup gun. And they're great. You know, somebody who wants to get into competition shooting, it's hard to beat a Glock. They're reliable. They're fast out of the holster. Being there's no manual safety on them, they're fast into action. Yes, the SKS does have a bayonet. If you look, you should be able to see that underneath the muzzle. It's kind of tucked under the barrel and the sling, but you can definitely see part of the bayonet. So, woo, I probably said that wrong, but the RXM would be a better buy for the money than a Dagger. I have no personal experience with a Model 99, so if I told you an opinion, it'd be a lie. I think the RXM is going to be just better quality all the way around than a Palmetto dagger. So the barrel we had in ours, the one I purchased for my son, it was actually bulging brass. The barrel, the chamber is a way out of spec, way out of tolerance. So when you shoot the cartridge, the brass actually way swells up to almost the point of rupture in the brass, which would be a catastrophic failure. The firearm is absolutely not safe to shoot. And that was brand new from them right out the box from word go. I emailed them probably a dozen times. I left messages on their voicemail probably about the same, another dozen times. And for me, this point, I mean, there's PSA's got some stuff I would really like to check out and have wanted to check out, but being they sold me a crappy gun and refused to return a call when I told them what it is, I showed pictures of it, you know, email, they won't even acknowledge it. So you take that for what it's worth. Me personally, I will not do business with them because of that. So the Glock 22, we do shoot it. My oldest shoots it. I did a caliber conversion on it, and then I changed the extractor, so it'll fire. It's actually right now it's currently set up for 9mm, and he shoots the hell out of it. He shot it for years and years and years. I think the Geisley Super Duty is a trigger. It's not, and I could be wrong. It could. I don't think it's the actual rifle. I think that's their trigger. I don't know what the Geisley calls their rifle. Maybe it's Super Duty. I don't know. You know, if you're into the Palmetto State Armory dagger, that's completely up to you. Black Talon ammo, yeah, I actually do. I have some 9mm, and I have some 45 ACP back from the late 80s. It's marked Black Talon right on the ammunition. Hey, woo, I hope I said that right. Hit the thumbs up button, double tap the screen for me. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see some stuff. Catch the next live. There's two. I don't have a 43. I have a 43X. There's actually two of them on the table. They're, what is it? The third and fourth gun from the top. They're both 43Xs. That's another gun I'm not a super big fan of. I like it. I like the concept of it. Yeah, it was a Lone Wolf barrel. Exactly what it was. Wasn't super expensive. I think it was like $180 for the barrel. And I actually sent them when I did the conversion. I sent Lone Wolf my slide, and they refinished it in their black oxide finish. I can just tell you my opinion. If I don't have an opinion or experience with it, I'm not going to lie to anybody. But I do have experience with the dagger, and my honest opinion is there's better options out there for that money. Ruger is a very respectable company, so I would go with that over anything else. And Glock for sure. You know, Glocks are Glocks, right? They do exactly what they're supposed to. They're reliable. They work. You know, they've fallen a little bit out of favor, but nobody can dispute that Glocks are still king. Is that where you're from? Is Arizona? I would assume. I have never seen a gold-plated German Luger. Legacy Firearms. He has a website and he has a YouTube channel. That's where if you want something, that's the what do I want to say? He's the authority on anything Luger. and it's Legacy Firearms. I'm not much for a compact. I do like the subcompact, and my choice for that, again, I'm old school, Glock 26. I've carried a Gen 3 for 10 years. I carried a Gen 4 for about the same, and now I've been carrying my Gen 5 for last 3. So for me personally, I like Glock 26s. A lot of people really like Glock 19s. It's an odd place for me because I'm not going to carry a Glock 19 and I'm not going to compete with a Glock 19. So my carry gun is a subcompact. My competition when I was using them was just a full-size gun. You would have to like narrow it down. I have a lot of guns that I enjoy. Glock 26 is 9mm. The Glock 27 is a 40 cal, and I don't recall what the 45 is, or 10mm for that matter. So depending on what I'm doing with the gun, it kind of I have favorite guns for things. So a lot of firearms will fit multiple roles, right? You can compete with it, you can carry with it, you can use it for home defense. I'm not that way. I have guns for specific purposes. I have my carry gun, I have my competition gun. My everyday carry is a Gen 5 Glock 26. There you go. See, you just schooled me because I don't know. You know, for the person out there who wants something for everyday carry, but they want to be able to enjoy it and go to the range and shooting, Glock 17 or Glock 19 is the way to go. I'm not particularly fond of them. I thought I'd like it more than I did, and that's why I bought two. I bought one for a practice gun. I bought one for a carry gun, and I should have shot it before I bought a second one, and I did not. They're a really thin firearm. They removed a lot of material from the gun itself to be able to be like a subcompact size gun, a pocket carry gun, whatever you want to call it. And when you shoot the gun, you can feel it flex. For me, I'm just not a fan of it. I prefer my Glock 26. A lot of people really like the Glock 43, the Glock 43X, and so forth. How do you show guns on live? Well, simple. You set up a camera, you hit live. The thing with lives, the rules are you cannot handle firearms. Yeah, see, that's the other thing I like about Glock 26 is you can shoot 10-round magazines. You can get extensions for them. You can shoot the Glock 19 magazines. You shoot Glock 17 magazines. All your drums will fit in it. All your big stick magazines will fit in them. That's why I like Glock 26 for that. My oh shit moment, I haven't really had one on live. Only thing that's really been negative for me on a live is maybe a month ago, my dog walked in front of this table and I got a strike for it. They said I was handling firearms during a live, and nobody handled any firearms. The dog walked by. I don't know. So Glock 34, I know a lot of agencies still use the Glock 17L. Them were all the SWAT team guys I have known over the years. If they carried a long slide Glock, it was the 17L, not a 34. I think my favorite is probably the Gen 3. I mean, they did everything right. So a lot of people like the grooves, some don't. The Gen 2 Glocks, they feel really good in the hand too. I appreciate it, Lord Waltz. I'm not sure what you're saying. by the long slide. Don't know what you mean by it's filthy. There's a lot of wear on the slide. I could tell you a rough guess on how many rounds are through it, but y'all would think I was lying anyway. That's the 4th barrel I've had in that gun. So just imagine shooting out barrels. That means good. I appreciate it. They are. So, I mean, to some extent, the finger grooves are good because it helps you index the firearm the same way each time. Out of a holster, the finger grooves help put your hand in the same position each and every time. So there's a reason Glock started doing that, you know. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to have to store everything and not be able to use it. I have no desire to go to California. It's not someplace I've been there, and nothing fancy for me. Their political environment is disgusting. Their Second Amendment infringements is even more disgusting. Yeah, that would be okay. Fortunately, in my state, you have to have a concealed carry permit. No, the other gun on the left-hand side is what I'm assuming you're talking about is an MP5 clone. It's a PTR. Yeah, there's what, 2 full-size Glocks on the table here and a Glock 34. There's a Shadow Systems MRP 920 or MR 920P. That's a full-size setup. Yeah, it is a long barrel. It's the federal rules. I mean, if you want to have a stock, you don't want to do SBR paperwork, you have a 16-inch barrel. That's just the way it is. My daughter will be using this year for competition, or at least I'm expecting her to. When you travel over state lines, having anything SBR gets complicated. There's a lot of hoops and hurdles you have to go through to transfer or transport firearms over state lines. So for me, for our purpose, for what we're going to use it for, a carbine with a 16-inch barrel makes sense. You can find a lot of options. Arkin makes really good optics. Vortex makes good optics. Leupold makes phenomenal optics. Night Force, if you want to spend Night Force money, them would be my go-to off the top. If you want something for an AR, a lot of people really like red dots and magnifiers. I have some of them. If you want to go on a cheaper end and still get a decent optic, primary arms, 1 to 4, 1 to 6, 1 to 8, 1 to 10 power, probably, front focal plane. Them are all good options for ARs. Depends what you're going to do with it. And I mean, realistic expectations. Are you shooting past, 200 yards with it? Or is it going to be something up close and, fast target acquisition? I don't know what you mean by the same gun. There's 2 Glock 43Xs and there's 2 Glock 17s. The 2 Glock 17s, one was when I still competed with Glock. The Camel one was my main competition gun, and then I would carry to matches. I would carry my backup gun, which is the black one. That's why there's nothing done to it. So a front focal plane optic, when you zoom it in, the reticle stays the same size. The background is magnified, but the reticle stays the same size. It never changes size. On a rear focal plane optic, obviously you'll magnify the optic, and your what you're looking at will get bigger, but on a rear focal plane, your reticle will also enlarge. So a lot of people like the front focal plane. It's better. It holds truer better when your reticle doesn't change from your zero or your distance. And so if you zero your gun, it's a 3 to 9 power gun. You zero it at 100 yards. When you on a rear focal plane, when you go to 9 power, it'll actually shift your point of impact. So on a rear focal plane, you got to kind of zero your rifle at the distance that you intend to use it on the magnification that you intend to use it. So I'm not sure what a Type 91 is. I don't know if that's what do I prefer to shoot? I shoot what's cheap. I reload my own ammunition, so everything's generally either a plated bullet or a full metal jacket. For my self-defense, obviously you go with a hollow point. Yeah, that's what I said. When you, on the front focal plane, the reticle stays the same. On the rear focal plane, the reticle magnifies. It gets bigger as you go up in magnification. I did state that. To tell you what my favorite gun is, I need more of a clearer question on that. I don't have just one favorite gun beats everything else in the world. It depends on what I'm doing with it, what I'm going to do with it, and that breaks it down. I have my favorite competition pistol. I have my favorite fun that's just fun to shoot. I have, you know, all that stuff. I figured that's what you meant. Hey, if you guys haven't, double tap that screen. Help me get them thumbs ups. Double tapping it and giving me a thumbs up is free. Cost you nothing. Oh, I wouldn't say that. I could pick a favorite kid. Jono, hope I said that. Jono, I appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. Check out some of the videos if you want. Nobody's gonna come in and rob me. I have 3 very large and aggressive dogs. I would love to say I'm gonna get to shoot somebody, but I'm not gonna even get a chance to draw a pistol on them. So, all right, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out, talking. I hope we have an opportunity to chat again. No, that's just a SKS. It's just something to have in a collection. My dogs, no. I can show you, but I have to redo a live without the firearms. When they came into frame about a month ago, I got a strike. So I actually have them locked out of the room right here. On the left-hand side, it's a MP5 clone. I do have a FAL, if you like FALs. I do have, it's actually L1A1. It's a BSA, British Small Arms. It was a true import, not a kit build. And it also has the L1A1 2 suit optic. So, pretty rare piece when it's actually imported and not kit assembled. I'm not sure what you want to see. You see the ATF is offering free dog calendars. No, I didn't, but I will check that out. If I would love to get a free calendar from them. That'd be hilarious. I have no idea. They when I tried to appeal it, they said I was handling firearms during a live, and that was it. They gave me a strike, and strike it went. No, I have L1A1, and then the optic is a L1A2. I didn't know they made a FRT that fit in one of the FNs. Or is it you talking for the pistol, or you gotta clarify? I'm not sure. Run a gun business. Well, if you just got out of prison, I'm not going to recommend any firearms to you. Clearly, if you were in prison, you have a felony, so you owning or possessing a firearm is going to be federal penitentiary time if you get caught. I'm assuming you're probably on probation or parole, which again would make you go back to jail if you get caught with it, or prison. However, we used to have a lot of people that carried ball peen hammers. You can't get in trouble for carrying a hammer, and I'll tell you what, it's impressive to see somebody get whacked between the eyes with one. It's a PTR, so it's not actually an SP5, but it's a correct build. Roller delayed. They're soft. They're a soft shooting rifle. The action's a little slow in them compared to like an AR9 or my CZ Scorpion. I don't think they'll ever get rid of tax stamps because they make money at it, right? The only way they're going to consider something is if there's no longer financial benefit. Just like anybody. You stop getting paid, it takes this incentive away. What I would love to see, though, I'm cool paying the $200, but I want to go into my local gun store. I want to fill out my Form 3. I want to pay my money right there on the spot. I want them to call that in, and I want to go home. This whole, I got to send in fingerprints, I got to send in a check, I got to wait. It shouldn't be that way. If I can walk into a store, purchase a firearm, then I should be able to walk into a store and purchase a suppressor. There should be no extra hoops or hurdles that go with that at all. None. I won't disagree that they could keep it similar rules saying you have to own or possess. I can't borrow a suppressor to somebody. I'm okay with that. But to have to send in and go through their hoops and hurdles, I don't agree with that. The SKS, when we dated it, I think it was 64 or 65, this one. I could be wrong. I'm not sure if my oldest is coming home from school today or if he's going to work. If he comes home, we'll ask him because he actually did all the research on it. I do not record gun shows. I don't know how these guys get away with it because every gun show I've ever been to, they say right at the beginning as you're walking in, as you're waiting to get into the building, they have signs put up, no photography allowed. So, I know some of these guys get away with it and they do it, but it's frowned upon. No, the brown one is a SKS with the wood stock. I do not hunt anymore. I gave that up quite a while ago. I still have my hunting rifles. I still have all my duck decoys. I have my turkey blind, all that. I don't hunt anymore. I don't have any experience with any PSA rocks either. Well, the problem with SKS is it may be the pre-51, but they have a floating firing pin in them. So if the firing pin is getting worn or peened or dirty, the firing pin will stay in the forward position, and then when the action closes up, they'll slam fire. They'll go full auto. That's a known issue for SKS as a whole. It doesn't matter if it's Romanian, Yugoslavian, Russian, Chinese, or any one of the other 100 countries that made them. If you start getting an SKS that's doing a lot of slam firing, you clean it, you take the firing pin out, you examine it, and replace it as it is needed. There is retrofits available to where you can actually add a spring, and it'll keep it from slam firing. But yeah, you gotta clean them guns sometimes. Unfortunately, nobody likes doing it, but we all have to do it. So open carry is kind of a weird thing. In my state, you can open carry, but nobody open carries. What good is a firearm if somebody knows you have it? The only thing that means is they're going to wait till your back is turned, or they're going to, a concealed carry is the way to go. My first firearm was a Savage Stevens 12 gauge pump action shotgun. I don't recall the model number anymore. My second gun after that was a Winchester 32 Special, model 94, and it was a pre-64 gun. And then I got and this is all when I was like 10 years old. I grew up on a farm. Then I got a Jag 7.7. That's a Japanese World War II rifle. I do have 22s. Where do you live? Ottawa, Canada. I get a lot of people on my channel from Canada. You guys are always usually pretty cool to talk to. Sorry your firearm laws suck. Hopefully that'll, well, I don't know. I don't think it's ever going to go back. Once somebody takes something away, they don't like to give it back. But it's shitty. I've never really spent much time in Canada. We rode in it on our motorcycles just a little bit to see the northern side of Niagara Falls. And that's my extent of being in Canada. My favorite gun on the table would probably be the Camo Glock. Just because I've had a long time. I've traveled the country with it. I shot it competitively for a very, very long time. I don't compete with it anymore. Will you be quiet? I don't compete with it anymore. I don't compete with any Glocks anymore. Fubar, quiet. Yeah. So I don't know if any of you jumped in here, but when I do lives, I'll get people asking about different firearms. And so when I do my next live, I try to throw them into the mix. So why haven't I SBR'd the MP5? Simple. It will be for my daughter this year for shooting competition, along with her pistol. To transport over state lines with an NFA item is complicated. It's much easier to transport over state lines with something that doesn't have NFA paperwork attached to it. Along with that, there's times where I have to work on the weekends, so my wife will take my daughter shooting. In that scenario, she could not have possession of that NFA item. If I had the trust, my wife could be on the trust, or I should say is, and that way she could have it, but it's not something that they could just take without that way. So yeah, just for making things simple, it's easier not to. I would prefer an SBR. I've been thinking about it. I mean, it would be much nicer, and it would actually, for competition, it'd be a lot better because it's easier to get in and out of ports and move around the stage with a shorter barrel. But considering, again, like I said, I got it from my daughter. The gun on the very top, that Shadow Systems MR 920p Elite, I bought that for her too this year. That'll be her two guns she's going to compete with this year. Yeah, it is annoying. It's not even so much that, right? If I want to go to Illinois, I have to contact the state patrol Illinois to let them know I'm going to be crossing. I got to let them know where I'm going to be going. But you not only have to notify the state police, but you have to notify the sheriff of any and all counties that you go through to be completely legal. So for each county I go through, I have to notify law enforcement and then wait for their approval. That's To me, it's not worth it. That's one advantage for people doing like the pistol braces on ARs, is you can transport them over state line as a pistol braced firearm, and it's easier to do. It's less complicated than short barrel rifles. Uh, for my scenario with my daughter shooting this, for the competition shooting, you can't have pistol braced firearms. They have to have an actual stock on them. So otherwise, I would have probably went that route and just put uh, a brace on it. But no, every state you have to notify. So picture this, right? I live in Wisconsin. If I want to go to Texas, every state that I go to, every state that I drive through, I have to notify them that I'm transporting an NFA item. Now, do people do it? I have no idea. Uh, Me personally, I enjoy my freedom. I enjoy my ability to travel. I enjoy my ability to own firearms. So I would comply and notify that the law enforcement that I was going through their jurisdiction with a NFA item. And again, for me, it's easier not to have to do that. Yeah, they don't make it easy. They don't want people transporting firearms, NFA items, and I do get it to a point. I mean, if kind of to a point, it's just, I don't know. It's a good way for a good guy, a good person, to get caught up on a federal crime. You know, violation is violation. Now you're in front of judges, and clearly out of your state, you're in front of a judge in another state, another county, having to go to court and pay lawyers and everything else. So a lot of people feel that way. Won't hurt them. For me, I mean, weirdest things happen, right? You're in traffic and off the Beltway in Chicago, and you get rear-ended. Well, now law enforcement's coming. Hey, what are you doing here? Because they always ask, hey, we're going to a shooting competition down Havana, Illinois, or wherever else we're going. Hey, do you have firearms in the vehicle? Absolutely. You know, for me, like I said already, I value my freedom. I value not having to spend the next 2.5, 3 years in a federal court trying to keep my freedom. Uh, and I enjoy being able to have my firearms. So everybody has to decide for themselves. People that it comes right back to, like, people putting switches on Glocks, right? If you don't value your freedom and you don't value your ability to own or participate in the Second Amendment, then those are the people that do it. For people that would like to do it, but it's not worth the legal trouble or the hassle that it would cause, great. Me, I'm married. I've been at my job for over 20 years. I have 3 kids. Um, I'm not trying to end up in any trouble. How you doing, that white guy? I did see you. I remember the last live I was being asked about Glocks. I made sure I got the Glocks out here today. Michael, how are you doing? So I don't know at what point you were in there or whatever, but I got asked about an MP5 or an MP5 clone. And that's why I have that out too. If you guys see stuff or you want to see something, if you watch the channel, see things that you want to see in a live, let me know. These are all real. Orange Smoke, how are you doing? Good to see you. I had to show some Glocks today to prove people that I actually own Glocks. And I got the MP5 clone out, and then SKS is another popular one. Everybody likes to ask if I have. So made sure we threw them on here today. How's Minnesota weather? It's actually warm as hell here right now. It was 48 degrees on my way home. Yeah. I haven't looked at our extended forecast, but we're going into March. We're getting more snow. You know it's coming. We'll probably get a good pounding yet out of this. Victor, I'm assuming that you typoed that. The channel's for 18 and older. So if you are that age, I'm gonna have to. I'm assuming that you meant 21, not 11, because again, it's for 18 and older. And I only say that because YouTube will get all kinds of weird. And I mean, as much as I'd love to chat with you, I don't want to get a strike over having a minor on the channel. Yeah, even the lake by us is starting to break up. I noticed that on my way home. A lot of the ice is off the lake and off the river. So the best I can do with it on a live is exactly what you see. On lives, you cannot pick up or handle any firearms. So this is the best I can do is have a conversation. If you want to see it, I do have some shorts with it in there somewhere. They were probably, you'd have to go back to like October time. Glocks are what they are. They work. I competed with them for years. They're fast. They're quick out of action. You know, for me, they point shoot fairly easy, and they're modifiable. I haven't competed now with the Glock in about 4 years. I made transitions to other platforms, but clearly I still like them. I do carry my Glock 26 every day. You know, I wouldn't get rid of any of the Glocks. I just, that's not something I shoot much anymore. Blue Rhino, how are you doing? How's the weather in Texas? Illinois does suck. What part of Illinois are you in? Because it's dealing with firearms. So if when I open the live, I have to select that it's going to be for 18 and older. What generation 34 Orange Smoke? The one up here is a Gen 4. Gen 5. That doesn't have the open slide anymore, right? That's just a standard slide. Like mine at the top of the slide over a big portion of the barrel is cut out. It's a window, I guess. If I recall looking at the new images of them, they don't do that cutout anymore, do they? Yeah. So I had actually wanted a 34 for a few years before I was ever even able to get a hold of them. A lot of people were shooting them and competing really well with them, and I just forever I wasn't able to get a hold of them. Even when I had my business, that wasn't something I could ever put my hands on. Uh, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, 8 years ago, um, I bought this one. My son competed with it 2 years ago. He started out, so not this last year, the year before. At the end of the season, he started competing with it then, and then at the first half of last year, from like January to end of March, maybe April, he was competing with this 34, and then he made the jump to the tactical sport orange that he shoots. Uh, he shoots that a lot better. I did have a 17L years ago too. Uh, Mine was a police trade-in, and it was from somebody in South America. Uh, I can't even remember. But yeah, it was a 17L. Um, I got it thinking it would be a competition gun, and it wasn't legal for competition use, so I didn't have it real long. Blue Rhino, 2011s and 1911s. There's something to be said for an action that's been around for over 100 years and is still relevant. I don't own any 2011s, but they are good. Uh, I just there's a lot of inexpensive options out there right now, and I think them uh, kind of take away from what they should be. They're piece them together, and they're maybe not the highest quality, but a lot of people really like 2011s. I can't show you any of these firearms. I can't pick them up. If I could, I would. YouTube policy, community guidelines states you cannot handle firearms. The mags are in the safe or on top of the safe. I don't really need a magazine and a firearm to have it on a table, right? The RTF frame too. That was a Gen 3. I had one of them. It was a Glock 17 with the RTF frame. I think it was a Gen 3 gun. Maybe it was no, it was Gen 3, but it had the RTF. I wish I'd kept that. It had the different slide serrations. They weren't a straight line. They were like like a tractor tire. Uh, and then they had the front cock and serrations. I really liked that gun. The one I had night sights on it. Yeah, I liked it. I bought it for me when I had my business, and a customer wanted it. So I got rid of it thinking I could get another one, and I wasn't able to get another one. Yeah, fish go. Yeah, I guess that's what it would be called. I wish I'd hung on to that. I did like the frame. I did like the gun. That's why I bought it. Uh, had the Trijicon night sights on it, and I mean, other than the frame and the slide work, it was a Glock. But I did like that rough textured frame. I didn't realize that was something they were going to do very limited. I assumed that they would be available. I mean, it was a good texture. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen one used anywhere. I don't think I've ever seen one at a gun show ever. So I don't know why they only did that for a short time. I'm curious if it was something that maybe a customer spec'd out. Maybe they were trying to get a contract with somebody, and that was um, what they requested. But I mean, hands down, that was probably the best Glock texture and um, they had. Warren, it's good to see you. How long have you had that orange smoke? So I want to say, let me think here. Maybe 2010, 2011 is when I had that one. I guess I could see that. It's a, or it was an aggressive texture, but man, it felt good. You know, I think that was probably one of the better, well, if not the best texture and Glock ever put on their frames. That'd be cool if they'd come back with that in like a Gen 5 frame. That would be cat's ass. Yeah, probably 15 years ago, I think. Yep. It was a while ago. I think my dealer pricing on that, I bet you I paid probably right around $400 with the sights, the night sights. Of course, when I eventually, like I said, I had a customer that decided they wanted it. I mean, it was a business thing then. I made money, but I wish I would have known and either kept it or okay. I know where Peoria and Bloomington are. We used to go down to Decatur a couple times a month. Remington's kind of a hit and miss thing. So there was times they had really great products, and there was times where their quality control really tanked. Quit. I yeah, they were expensive. I did see that they're making them again. Um, I don't know. I'm not really sure what they're making them for, unless it's just a like a nostalgic type piece. Because for any of the action shooting games, USPSA, IDPA, they're not a legal firearm. They're too long. I suppose you could use them in open division. There's no overall length in that, but it's not a wouldn't fit that division. Use it for steel challenge. I'm assuming people are getting them just to have that nostalgia. I should look once. So GSSF, Glock Shooting Sport Foundation. I'm curious if they let them run 17s in that. I don't know what a 118A is. I'm not sure what you're asking. You have to be a little more specific. Hey, if you guys haven't, if you're still in here, just give that screen a double tap. Give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. I could be wrong, but I don't think that was a 118. I appreciate it, Warren. I gotta think about it. Oh. Ah. It'll come to me, but it'll be later. The MP5, it's a PTR. I bought it used. The price was right for what I wanted to do with it. So I actually picked that up for my daughter. She'll be running that this year. She'll be running her shadow systems too. So last year she shot steel challenge only. Quit. She shot steel challenge only, and she'd shoot a Smith & Wesson 1522. Victor, I think you're fine because, like I said, I'm pretty sure that was a typo, right? If I wanted anybody to leave, I would have booted you. I just, I want to make sure that we're all staying compliant because to get strikes and to lose channels suck. I don't have a ton of experience with Gen 5s. My Glock 26 is a Gen 5. I think the 43X they consider a Gen 5. Otherwise, everything I've had has either been a Gen 2, a Gen 3, or a Gen 4. Again, I mean, what I have here for Glocks is what I have. It's not a firearm or a platform that I will be investing anything more into. I won't get rid of what I have, but I will not pursue that anymore. That's actually, when I ask people about favorite guns, or they ask me, my CZ Scorpion is actually one of my most enjoyable fun guns. I do like that rifle quite a bit, that carbine. I put a Timney trigger in mine, and then I got a plus 125% recoil spring, so it's like 125% stronger than the factory recoil spring, and that tames that gun down. It's just a little puppy to shoot, and it's fast. I don't own any P80s. I have no reason to have a P80. A lot of people like them because there's no serial numbers, right? No paperwork. To me, it doesn't matter. I can go to a store, I can buy a gun. It's not a big deal for me to go fill out paperwork. So to pay extra money for something that's not even as good as, it doesn't financially make sense. I don't have an opinion on the 2.0 metal frame. Some of the guys we shoot with, they have them, and they really like them. But what they have told me, because we've been talking a little bit about it, like even with the Canic metal frames versus polymer metal frames, polymer guns do eat up recoil. They absorb that felt recoil in your hand better than a steel frame gun. That's something that a lot of people don't realize. It is a Chinese. It's a Arsenal 26 Durango import. I've had that since like 2000, 2007, I think is when I picked this one up. I have two other ones. One is an Arsenal 26, and the other one is just a commercial CGN, I think, or something like that. It's an SKS. It does SKS things. It shoots straight. It runs good. I didn't pay much for it, and I've had it for quite a while now. M27. That's the U.S. Service Sniper Rifle. That sounds right. Victor, that's like the third time you asked. Not to be a dick, but since it's clearly a issue, we'll do it like this. So on the table there's the SKS, and then on the left hand side it's a PTR. It's just an MP5 clone, 9mm roller delayed blowback. Nothing fancy. It's a good shooting carbine. The roller delayed recoil is interesting. It's soft. The action, it's a slow action. It doesn't cycle very fast, but it cycles fast enough to do what you want to do with it. My daughter likes it. She enjoys shooting it. It's a little heavy for her, but last time she's handled it was in September, October. So like I said a little bit ago, my experience with Gen 5 Glocks comes down to my Glock 26 and then whatever the 43Xs are. So I haven't handled any Gen 5 17s or 19s or 34s. So I can't speak if they're more accurate, less accurate. If there's a difference, I just have no, I'd be lying to you if I tried to say. I'm not, and there's no reason for me to lie to anybody, right? Why am I being mean? Yeah, that's the only reason I booted that guy. He came in and said they were underage. I assumed that was a typo, and told them they were more than welcome to stay, especially considering it was a typo. And several times they kept asking the same question. So at this point, I have to assume that they were just baiting me into something, and I'm not going to be baited into it. Absolutely, you can have a foregrip on it. For my purpose, my intended purpose, I have no reason to have a foregrip on that. The MP5 mags, they're curved and they don't go in the mag well perfectly straight. It's not like a rock and lock, but it's not a completely straight insert either. Yeah, I think there's a lot of other platforms out there right now. Now, I would consider buying another Glock in the future if they came out with something with a better frame, something like a shadow system, right, where the frame has been modified, where it's got a compensator, you know, it's got to have all them things. Hey, go tell Harley her friend is here. Did you hear me?
What?
Tell Harley her friend's here. Oh, they're beating on the door. I'm not sure what you mean by prepping. Am I a doomsday prepper that's got 50,000 rounds and 10 years of food? No, man. I mean, I'm gonna give like a 5-minute warning here. Orange. My wife is home now, so chaos is about to ensue like always. If you guys haven't, would you double tap the screen, give me a thumbs up for the channel. If you'd consider it, feel free to subscribe or check out some of the videos. If you're looking for other channels to subscribe to, I haven't seen him yet today, but D-Dog Tactical is a really great channel. No, I'm not Canadian. Do I have a Canadian accent? I appreciate this. D-Dog, I was just literally talking about you. I'm doing like a 4-minute warning now. I was just going through my spiel of telling everybody, hey, if you're looking for other channels to subscribe to, check out my guy D-Dog. Yeah. So, see, D-Dog, I didn't even know you were here, and I'm still promoting you. So, where are you from, if you don't mind my asking? You got about 3 minutes. We're gonna get you there. We're gonna break that 1,000. It's gonna happen. From Finland. So, all right, I'll give it one more time. Everybody, thanks for coming. Double tap. Don't even sweat it, man. It was kind of impromptu. Figured I'd kill some time. Double tap the screen. Hit the subscribe button. Check out the shorts on the channel. There's probably some stuff you want to see. If there's things you want to see in the next live, throw a comment in any of the shorts on the channel. The comments in the live here go away once I end it, so I have no way going back. Check out D-Dog Tactical. And with that, hope you all have a good night, and we'll catch you. Have a great day. I'm going to try to catch probably Thursday or Friday. Trying hard to get my hours up here. So with that, gentlemen, ladies, be good. I'll catch you next time.